Well, let's get some analysis on this from Luigi Di Gregorio. He's a lecturer of political science at Tuscia University and joins me from Rome live. Now, it's been 10 years since those terrible drownings, and the migrant crisis seems worse than ever. Why is it so hard to solve?
Yes, good evening. You already recorded the most important data on this thing. First of all, we have around 25,000 people who are dead or missing in the last 10 years. So nothing changed, unfortunately, in this case. And these numbers will likely not change also in the near future, and this is a problem. Another thing to consider is that Frontex, which is the European agency established to assist European Union member states in managing external borders, already was founded almost 20 years ago in 2004. And again, it cannot be said that things have changed so much. So what has changed since then? I think the most crucial aspect in this is that it is now quite clear that since the European Union is a single unified space for people, capital, goods, and services, then Italy, Greece, or Spain, or Malta cannot be left to manage alone the immigration process. There have been several European councils and proposals from European Commission in these years. The latest is a few weeks ago, a 10-point action plan presented by von der Leyen in Lampedusa. And unfortunately, the issues remain more or less the same of 10 years ago, meaning that nothing really has changed at the European level. For instance, the idea of creating a hotspot in Africa to examine the asylum seeker request is now 5 years old, this proposal, and nothing's changed. But also the mechanism of solidarity, of burden sharing of asylum seekers is also not new, but it doesn't work. So in few words, in a nutshell, I would say that the situation is quite clear. First of all, we have a birth rate in sub-Saharan Africa that is impressive. For example, Nigeria and Congo will double their populations in 20 years, and this is a problem, because they will have millions of young people with no work and no prospect very soon. Second, we have many African governments which are less stable than they were 10 years ago. Third, of course, the European Union does not possess the economic growth in this moment capable of absorbing this enormous demand of work. So I would say that for all these reasons, it is clear that this issue is now European. It's not an Italian issue or a Spanish issue or a Greek issue. However, the logic at the European level is still too much domestic, too much egocentric, too much focused on national interest. And that's the reason why, I mean, nothing has changed in these 10 years and probably won't change until the next European election, which is in June 2024. After that, maybe things may change if all European member states finally understand the magnitude of this phenomenon, which is colossal and therefore requires collective responses. Otherwise, I think it will no longer be just an Italian or Spanish or Greek problem, but it will be a problem for the whole Europe.
Now, there are a series of high-level meetings last week around migration.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll see any solutions coming from then?
I mean, I think it's quite impossible to expect a solution before the European election next year. I mean, the proposals are still the same since maybe 5 or 10 years. So there is nothing that can change. It can be a game changer in this thing until at least the European level. After that, we will see.
Okay, so you really feel like there has been very little progress over the last decade since we saw these hundreds of deaths?
Absolutely, yes. Very little, very little. But maybe the symbolic thing is this sharing of asylum seekers, which really doesn't work in Europe, absolutely.
Okay.
So it's more a symbolic policy than a real policy. So the problems are still there.
All right, Luigi in Rome for us. Thank you.
Thank you.